Well, I wonder how fast I should fly this new airplane I got. I don't know. I'll just guess. No, I won't. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today I'll be talking to you about some important speeds that you must know in my basement. Okay, so it's I as usual, I come up with these little topics like right at the last second, so it's kind of cool. And I was thinking just a little while ago, I was flying in a new type of plane. I'd flown in it before as a Cessna 150, and I'd flown in them before here and there with somebody who's actually been had flown with that plane for a long time, so they knew what they were doing. And so one of the interesting things about being a flight instructor is that when you hop into an airplane and you're actually instructing somebody, you are the pilot in command. So that means that it's all up to you. If anything goofs up, it's all your fault. And it's what they always say. Whose fault is it? Pilot in command all the time. So there we go. That's the correct answer for if you're doing a written test when it comes to traffic avoidance. Blah 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 blah. Whose responsibility is it? The pilot in command. There you go. You just got another mark on that one. So, yeah. So you like it's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll get the opportunity to go in and instruct somebody. Maybe it's on the airplane. They've been flying it for 20 years or something. They know it inside and out, but you're still technically pilot in command. So you would want to make sure that it's being flown correctly. And sometimes people will fly their plane for 20 years the wrong way. But good luck changing them. They'll be like, I've been doing it this way for 20 years. I haven't crashed. Okay, it's your insurance. So, anyways, but yeah. So if I get into a new plane, and especially if I'm supposed to be the expert and that other person's not, well, I better know what I'm doing. So yeah, I've had to do this with a few different types of little airplanes. Now, the good news about this is that if you're, and I'm just going to be talking about, your standard little 4-seater, 2-seater airplane here today. I'm not talking airliners or anything like that. That's a whole bunch of other speeds you got to know, but it's not something that you can just like learn on a YouTube video. You're going to be doing lots of sim training and stuff, and you're going to do a lot of ground training. They'll pound those numbers into your head, but none of these numbers have to be memorized legally or anything like that. You just have to put them down on your kneeboard. So this is what I do if I'm going to be hopping into a new airplane I've never been in before. I get my kneeboard with me, and so yeah, this kneeboard, what it is, it's if you've never seen one before, it's got this little Velcro strap, and so you'll have this, and then you'll strap it around your leg. I wonder if I can do that here. There you go. Can I be a contortionist? All right, here we go. So you strap it around your leg. It's on your knee. You put the Velcro underneath. Ta-da, kneeboard. And then you can get your pen out, and you can write on your knee, right? So there we go. And just take it off again. And there we go. So that wasn't too hard to be a contortionist. So you get your kneeboard and you're writing some stuff down on it, and you're gonna have to know these certain speeds. And I'm just gonna go through it. But my kneeboard's a little bit small, so I need something better than a kneeboard. What could possibly be better than a kneeboard? Cardboard. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through, and I'll kind of explain my. Oh, look at this. Sponsored by Blundstone. Well, not really, but that's the old lady bought some boots. So there we go. I had some extra cardboard. So I in no way endorse that company, though I highly like Australians. Okay, so so this is what my kneeboard would look like, blank at first. So I start off and I get into my airplane, and first thing you got to do as an instructor is get your suds. You got your suds. Okay. What does the suds mean? Is that a D? That's pretty good. Suds. Yeah, so you always got to have your suds if you're an instructor, because the students make you so nervous. You need your suds. No, not really, but yeah. So that stands for start, up, down, and stop. Okay, and that goes on my kneeboard, and so it means your engine start time or your Hobbs time, whatever you want. So this is to calculate your flight time, and then the time you take off, the up time, the time you land, downtime, and the time that the engine stops. And you have to record all that stuff for your logbook and for the journey log for the airplane. So I got my suds. Now I need to know some numbers. I just think about this as when, like, what do you really need to know? And so, okay, I'm getting in the plane, and there's probably some kind of checklist, and you do your run up and all that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go take off. How fast do I go when I take off? I don't know. What's your rotation speed? And where can you find that? You find that in the POH, or the Pilot Operating Handbook. It's basically every airplane has to have one of those. So you look in the POH, you look in the book. It's like an owner's manual for your car. And you're going to find your rotation speed, or VR. Maybe I'll just do this here. Oh, that's another thing I usually do too, is I'll have my suds here. Now that I think of it, I'll put on the frequencies, maybe from a different airport. What frequency? Maybe ground, tower, approach, local FIC. Anyways, so whatever radio frequencies you want. Okay, that's not really speeds, but okay, first thing I'm going to need is my rotation speed. And that'll be whatever it is in the airplane. You'll find it in the book. Okay, now you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I just took off. How fast do I climb at? I don't want to stall when I'm climbing out. Oh, if I'm talking about climbing out, I can't use my hands. I got to use, I think I got the old KD12X over here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the old workbench is looking pretty messy behind my computer here. I got to clean it up. There we go. So we don't want to be climbing up, and then what speed do I do? And stall. Nope, don't want that. Okay, so you always got to have your training, or what do they call it? You got to always have your visual aids present if you're an instructor. So I'm going to be climb out speed. And usually when you climb out, it's going to be at your VY is what it's called. VY stands for, it represents the best rate of climb speed. So that gets the old KD12X up in the air in the fastest amount of time, because you want to get up as fast as you can, as soon as you can, I should say, because then if anything happens, altitude's your friend, and you can deal with things if you're at altitude. If you're not at altitude, you have less friends. So I would want to know that. That's in the book too. And then, okay, I'm cruising along. What would I do? And then you might think, it's a new airplane. What's a good cruise power setting? Do you want to blast it and run out of gas at full power all the time? Or do you want to save a bunch of gas? Or, I don't know, going on a cruise, a big cross country. So you might want to write down here power setting too. Or maybe power settings. Over here, power settings. Some planes you'll take off at full power, and then once you get to a certain altitude, you'll kind of bring it back for like an en route climb. Depends on what plane you're flying, and then that'll be described in your normal procedures in the book. So here you go. We climb up. Okay, I'm going to set my power for just cruising along. And then I'm thinking, what if something goes wonky and I got to glide into a field? I only got one engine. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but you should know. And then, okay, what's the best speed to glide at to stay up in the air the longest, or to go the furthest you can get it? So we'll figure out what the best glide speed is. Whoop, not the neatest. Well, I can read my own. And like I said, you don't have to memorize these. Okay, what's the best glide? Looks like good. Okay, that's pretty messy. Yeah, okay, best glide, the best good speed. And so that would also be in the book. And even if you get some airplanes that are, if they're quite a bit older, they're the owner's manual is like pretty thin, and it just basically says, don't have the plane weigh more than this, and this is where you put gas into it, and this is what type of oil it takes. The end. Like some of them are really, really thin. So if you don't know what the best glide speed of your airplane is, generally, as a general rule, when your trim is set up for the elevator, now this is getting a little bit techie for the non-pilots, but bear with me. And yeah, so if you trim it all the way nose up, it should not stall on you. So what you do is, if it's an electric trim, just buzz it all the way back so it'll get your nose up. And then, or if it's a trim wheel, just trim it all the way back, and then it'll get you to a point where it's like it'll glide. It might not be at the best speed where to get you the furthest distance, but it won't stall, which is important too, because if you're dealing with other things in the cockpit, trying to restart the engine, trying to figure out where you are, figure out, talking on the radio, you don't want to have to worry about maintaining an airspeed. You want that trimmed out nicely, and the plane's just going down, and you got 5 minutes before you're on the ground. So, or more. So, yeah. So there we go. Best glide speed in the case of an emergency. And then, so the next speed you would want to know, I'm going to come in to land. And so what would my approach speed? So let's say approach speed. I'll try to make this a little neater. Approach speed. All right. So far we got it. Our approach speed. Now everybody memorizes this for a test, and they all forget it. So, yeah, if you don't know the book should tell you what a range of speeds that you could approach at, probably, or the best speed to approach at with like to come in for a landing. Probably at the max gross weight. But yeah, so there's some speed you got to have when you're coming into land. You can't just come ripping in at full throttle, and like you're going to burn up all your all your runway when you land there. And hey, Shecky, I see you. Hi. And yeah, so we're going to approach at so it's your standard approach speed is VSO plus 10, where your VREF speed, we'll say VREF. Okay, that's what it is. And then VREF. That's how you write your VREF. And then, oh, yeah. So the VREF is 1.3 times your VSO, which is your stall speed in landing configuration. So that means with wheels down and full flap, blah, 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 blah. Airplane, and yeah. So that, but ultimately, it's your VREF speed plus 10. Okay, and then that's your approach speed there. Yeah, approach speed VREF plus 10. Oh, I guess I could make that into an arrow. Okay, well, approach speed is VREF plus 10. Boom. And then you're coming into land, and there you go. You should be at that speed at 50 feet above the ground when you're coming in. After that, do what you got to do to get it on the ground. Okay, and then your approach speed, yeah. And then anything else that you might want to know is on your airspeed indicator. So your and like, so I wouldn't really write down like the flap extension speed or whatever. That'll be right on there, unless you could put the flap extension speed there. We'll say flap speed. What's that? VFE, I think. VFE. Okay, VFE, flap maximum flap extension speed. So you don't overspeed your flaps. That would be good to know if you're flying some old airplane that doesn't have the standard markings on it. So your flap You can look at the flap speed for the. It's a white arc on the airspeed indicator at the very bottom of that white arc. That's your full flap stall speed. So some of this information you don't have to look at out of the book, and you don't have to memorize it, but you have to. And then, like I said, all this info would be on my knee board. And then another thing about knee boards too is that if you're starting off as a student, don't worry about getting the biggest, coolest, high-tech knee board. This one here is just simple. It's just a clipboard, basically. You can stick a piece of paper on it, and it's got your pen. You can put your map under here. You know. Ow, no, it doesn't hurt. It's not that bad. But I was just thinking about a mouse that we got in the mouse trap a little while ago. It's like, poor fella. But anyways, I buried him in the garden, so we'll get some good tomatoes out of him. Okay, so that's about it for today. I just wanted to talk about those speeds that you really should know if you're the pilot in command and you're flying an airplane. Instructors, this means you. And I've that's never let me down, because I was like prepared beforehand. If I guess I kind of learned, I wouldn't say the hard way, but there's times where I say, what is that number? I should know that. And then the next time I make sure I know it. So, hey, Harold, welcome to the show. Love it when you guys show up and make comments in the chat. So, yeah, that's about it. And, okay, the old KDX 12 or 12X is still doing fine. And, all right, I got nothing. So, okay, so we'll just wrap it up there today. Those are the speeds. And the thing is, I didn't know about the, I didn't know how many speeds I would need to know. Yeah, so I might change that to like the 5 speeds you must know. You know, they like that with YouTube clickbait, right? 5, yeah. So, anyways, that's about it for today. So, thanks for showing up, people, and we're going to shut her down. And here we go. Thanks for watching. Bye.